Happy Friday. I just wanted to jump in here today because when I went to build with Bowser, we had the chance to do a few interviews while we were working in the Harlowe booth. And one of those interviews was somebody that I do admire a lot, and is Mark Mann. Harlowe has done this amazing job at creating a great environment for creators to collaborate. And so Mark Mann is one of the photographers that Harlowe usually works with. We've seen him shooting portraits before at the Leica 100th anniversary event in New York City. And now he's released a new product with Harlowe. And I was able to get 15 minutes of his time to talk to him about something that I consider very important, which is this imposter syndrome. What do you do when you're in one of your lowest moments, when you don't believe in your craft or you don't think you're good enough? And he actually had a pretty good advice. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please comment your opinion about his take on how to overcome these moments, and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Thank you for watching.
Hello, I'm Mark Mann. I am a photographer.
What kind of photographer, and how would you define your style?
I take pictures of people.
So portrait
Photographer, yeah, people. I like to collect faces.
How do you start this, and where do you find the inspiration at the beginning, early in your career?
The first time I went in a dark room, it was the alchemy. You had something and you had something and you did something, and all of a sudden it was magical, magic. And at that time as a kid, I was an amateur magician. Mm-hmm. And this was just another kind of magic. And I think something I liked about magic and magician was this power that you had over older people or adults. And there was something about having a camera and being able to kind of hide behind it, but still have some control over what was happening around me. I think I like that feeling. And I think that's like something to hide behind, but also to be in the spotlight, but be behind.
Is that something you've been able to maintain throughout your career?
Oh, definitely.
You still feel that when you have to take a portrait of someone?
Yeah, if I don't have a camera, it's much harder for me to. It's something I practice, but if I have a camera, I feel it's just like a shield, a safety shield.
How do you get to being you're an icon in the portraiture photography. Everybody kind of knows your
icon
work.
In my own underpants, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
At least in the industry, everybody knows your work.
It freaks me out. I don't look behind me. It's like, well, it's like being an icon in the photo world for me doesn't pay my bills.
I know, but everybody knows your work. How do you feel about that? And does that add pressure to you at all?
No, I mean it's embarrassing. No, I wonder what's next. There's maybe like 10 people in the world that I'll show a photo to. I go, what do you think? Whose opinion I care about? My wife, because she's brutal. So I think I never want to get caught up in this. It's amazing because it's a Mark Mann photo. So I don't, you don't believe your own hype. I just like, is this any good? Listen, you can sit back and do the same thing again and again and again, and all of a sudden it gets stale. But I think you got to keep pushing forwards, get new ideas. What's fresh? How can I make this better?
So to that point, and it's something I talk to pretty much everybody sitting in these chairs. How do you? I'm sure you've had through your career moments of self-doubt. How do you get out of
moments every day? Every day.
How did you get out of that?
Yeah, you gotta push through it. Yeah. Fake it till you make it. I'm still faking it, man. Every day I'm like, I'm standing up there talking in front of all these people. I'm like, why am I here?
Well, you got out of it pretty well.
I don't know, man. You gotta push through it. Oh man, it's a hard one. I think the day that I wake up and go, yeah, Hi, I did it. It's the day that it's time to quit, right? I think that's a good way to sum it
It
up.
makes sense, and I believe the same way. I don't think.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I think actually the self-doubt is kind of what makes you keep pushing.
Exactly. I photographed a friend of mine. I photograph him quite often. He's a food photographer. Well, sorry, I take the food photos, which I don't do very often, but I like working with my friend, the chef. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's one of the top chefs in the world. He is phenomenal. And we were working the other day and he did something and he puts it down and he goes, it's quite good.
He surprised himself.
And I just was like, and he wasn't being funny, but the fact that he was still like doubting, and like everybody else says, well, of course it's good, it's chef, whatever. I'm like, no, I know where you're coming from. I take a photo, it comes up, and sometimes I go, that's not bad.
It's good that you keep surprising yourself, and especially that it maintains you humble. Number one.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the point of not being humble, right?
I know, but there's a lot of in the industry of that competition and realistic competition because it's different styles. Nobody can even compete with each other.
You make the same people going up as you do going down. So photographer, for God's sake, I'm not saving any lives.
Yeah. So you mentioned in the couple of last talks that you were talking that there was a point where you changed from strobes to constant light. How was that and what triggered that?
So I came up shooting music and I came up shooting a lot of hip hop. And we're going back to 25 years ago where autofocus cameras were not really a thing. So I was shooting with an RZ, medium format, and a lot of energy on set and a lot of moving. And the way I shot was F32 if I could, with as much power as I could get to try and get something in this 10 shots, like in focus. So when I kind of switched from doing more Hollywood or people portraits, everything calmed down. I was like, oh, what happens if I turn the f-stop the other way and got it wide open for these intimate portraits, and then put the strobe on, like, whoosh. So what else is available? Oh, available light. I can have it. I can see it. I don't need as much light. I have more control over what I'm doing. And I was a pretty early adopter into this, light. I could see what I was doing. Faster ISOs, shooting more wide open, just naturally led to LED lighting.
So today we are here in the Harlowe booth because you have released your own system.
Yeah.
How did that collaboration start, and what were you trying to attempt with that? I know that you've touched a little bit on your talks, but for whoever who wasn't there, can you touch on that a little bit?
That's sitting down with Helena and Kieran, who actually say to you, what do you want as a photographer? And actually having somebody listen and go, oh, I see what you're saying. And that's very much where that started. Is like, what do I want? What did I want was something that was portable, easy to carry like the ring light, but more versatile. So coming up with this idea of taking 4 sources, combining them as one source, but also having the versatility to do other things, turn the top down, turn the sides off, to move one light over here, to be able to have that versatility with the higher ISOs and, for me, more wide open. It was like, oh, and they listened. They said, hey, do you like this idea? I'm like, wow, you actually listened to what I said, created something that I'm super happy to put out as mine.
Yeah, your name on it. And
yeah.
It kind of reflects a little bit your style that you used to have in a different way, like you were mentioning before.
Yeah, and there's definitely, I work with a few different, I'm a Leica ambassador, and I can't. I wish somebody would offer me, like, say, hey, Mark, do you want to be a Canon ambassador and we'll give you X amount of money? Because I'd like to think I'd say no. I've never been offered, so I don't know. But I'd like to say no, I'm a Leica guy. So I think I have to believe in a product to really, and as I said in my talks, there's no secret sauce. It is what it is. It's what we do. It's what I do.
I think to touch on what you were saying, a lot of brands tell you these are my products, represent them. And in the case of Harlowe with your product, they said, what does Mark need? We'll represent you with this product.
That's 100% correct.
That is a big switch in the approach. And
that's 100%.
And it's also a beautiful case.
It's beautiful. And I just remember like this conversation when Kieran says, well, what color do you want? I was like, I can choose a color? So yeah, of course you can. It's your kit. Like red, and yeah, and I love it. It's a beautiful thing. I'll have it for always,
If you could give an advice to somebody that's starting photography today, what would that be?
Go to law school.
That's what my father says too.
I think the advice, and it's, if you're going to be a photographer, you're going to be a chef, you're going to be a plumber, you're going to, whatever, practice your craft. Don't say you're a photographer if you're not taking photos. It's easy to take photos. It's easy to practice. Practice your craft. You're only going to get better the more photos you take, the more you look at your photos, the more you study them, the more you think about, why is this good? Why is this bad? What do I like? I'm not even going to turn around and say, look at the great photographers. Yeah, of course, do that. You know what? Take photos. Have an idea. What do I want to achieve in this photo? What am I trying to say? What am I trying to get the light to say? Practice. It's easy. If you're a racing driver, right, and you can only get an hour's screen time, an hour's race time every week, you can only practice so much. You want to be a photographer and you got a camera, you know somebody, and you got a light bulb or a flashlight, sit down, make photographs. Practice your craft.
Basically, put the work, put the work in. What would you think is something that changed from people considering themselves starting until they consider themselves professional photographers?
I suppose in the, semantically, a professional photographer is somebody who gets paid to do what they do. I don't know if I like, it's interesting. I have a brother-in-law who is not a professional photographer. In a sense, he sells art prints. One day I hope I'm as good a photographer as he is, So I don't know. Take photos, you're a photographer,
Right.
I think.
Yeah. I know you mentioned the big photographers. Who was your inspiration when you were starting, or in that timeline?
Irving Penn. I mean, I can name like Hearst and Avedon and Irving Penn moved me. It still does. There was a Eugene Auger. I really liked Eugene Auger because he didn't even know he was a photographer. He was just a guy. I mean, he wasn't, I'm a photographer. It was, back in the time where photographers didn't take photos for fun. They were being paid to do something. Auger was trying to document the building in Paris. Mm-hmm. And he didn't consider himself a photographer, he was a documentarian. And I just loved the amount of effort that he put into his craft and what that was. But Penn's portraits, Penn's fashion, Penn's still life have always moved me the most. If I'm ever sad, I open up my Irving Penn book and I'm happy. No, that's not true. But Irving Penn.
Where can people find your work?
markmanphoto.com, Mark Mann Photo on Instagram. secondhand bargain basement bookstores. No. I have a book with Rizzoli called Movement at the Still Point, which is a book on dance. Yeah, which is available. Starting a new book. But yeah, markmanphoto.com.
Sounds good.
Or call me, I'll take your photo. It's the easiest way.
You have been in a couple of events taking portraits of about
Love
300 people.
Love doing that. Practice, right?
Yeah.
So people say, oh, Mark, you did that event, you took 150 portraits. Why? Like, because I'm 150 times better photographer than I was before I started that. And I mean it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you
Practice.
encounter different people.
Practice. Different face, different light, big, small, tall, small, you know, bang. How do I do this? All right, chin down, bada bing. Okay, that works. Practice.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
my
hope we
man.
can put some practice in.
Yeah.
Get to where you are one day.
I just hope one day I have a Leica.
Well, didn't you say you like ambassador?
Yeah.
Then
I don't mean I have a Leica.
thank you so much, man. Thank you again for watching. Mark Mann is definitely the legend, a huge inspiration for me. And thank you again to Harlowe Creator for letting us be there with you and learn from these experiences and the talks and all the demonstrations that you guys put together. Thanks again. See you next Friday.